Here we are, and I am International Master Minh again, better known as wonderfultime.com here. So now once again we are on my speedrun account, and we'll play 10 minutes rapid. In order to slowly climbing, and in order to show you something good about chess, to show you some advices, or maybe how to be better here. I don't know. Maybe it may be not really easy to understand, but I'm will try my best to guide you something to be better. Also show you how wonderful this sport is. Sure. So we are playing like 1 or 2 games, depend I think on how strong my opponent is. And let's start. We are going to play 10-minute game here, and I will play randomly in a field so that I will meet basically people, I can say, from lower to higher later. Let's start here and let's go. First game, I meet a guy from US, Jonzo, from US. He played e3, which seems to be pretty, I can say, pretty passive move. But I think the idea by e3 is to push d4 later here. So just play d5 to grab a center. d5, d4. Now it becomes the normal queen's opening, which is not something so, I can say, strange. c4, 6 is just normal. d5, d4, knife 6. I just developing normally, and I can even try and give you f3. This is pretty good way to continue here for white, I can say that. So now white to play here. Black to play here. There are plenty of things we can try to make right now. But first of all, I can show you that by f3 here, right? By f3 here, he takes away the f3 square for the knight. Also now e4 is hard to be threatened, so f3 is just like pretty strange way to play in this variation. When you see your opponent doing something good like that, you just develop your pieces or go for some standard pawn push. For me, I will go c5. I attempt to go for a center break right away. Also, I will, trying to explore the fact that he is just not really care about his development. c3, knight c6. Once again, bring my pieces up and simply trying to go for the development. a3, you see, right? He's opting for some really weird pawn moves, which is, I can say, not doing anything. In the opening, I don't think that's a good plan. Okay, if you take c5, if you take c5 here, so let's say this one is c5, right? I can play like e5, and I get a strong center here. Bishop taking on c5 already, and also he's really down in development. In this account, this is my official account already. Chess.com did confirm that. People can simply come to my profile and see what's happened in this account. c4 now good? No. Now basically when he just makes some really weird pawn moves, I can go for the breakthrough right away. e5. Right? You see that on my pieces? Like my knight here has looking in the center. My pawn now ready to break through the center. You see, right? He need to defend the pawn on d4, and then left him with a very crumpled position. You can see, right? So when he just passive like this one, we just keep developing. Should d6, castles next, and try and get pieces out. Sure? I think you can already see that. Okay, g4. Wow. You can see, right? He just play for something I don't really understand. But okay, I think you just want to play for some pawn breakthrough, like g5 maybe. But this is very poor move. So guys, how can you take advantage of this very bad move here by black? I play a very strong and simple move of this position. How can you exploit this bend move here for black? Knight g4 maybe a bit early to be honest. But now you have a very strong move here, which is simple. e4. Yes, e4. But this one here, we attempt to, you know, undermine his pawn structures, and you know, basically now this pawn can become really weak. Really weak. Knight g4 can maybe work, but you know, he can try to run like king d2 here probably. That may not be so easy to be honest. Okay, g5 takes here, right? I mean, I'm gonna take here next, so this is very fine for us. And then knight e4 can be played as well, right? Take here, we can take an e2 first, and we are simply up a free pawn in a position that, you know, we are much better in development. Knight g1, oh my goodness, this is freaking passive. You can see, right? After 9 moves, you can see here, after 9 moves, 1 2 3 4 5, you know, look at his pieces. After 9 moves, the only thing he managed to do here is pushing the pawn. Now he's simply ready for next game. Okay, how can we punish this very, you know, with positivity here? What to play now? What do you want to do? I don't know, but basically this kind of play is not really, I mean, instructive, I can say. Bishop g4, this can be playable for sure. With idea f2, right? To go for the discoveries. This is playable. I mean now, so there are plenty of moves that can be playable, but the strongest one is f2. f2 is correct. So by this one here, we force his king to f2, right? And we can play knight e4 with a check. Not only we can check here, but we can win upon g5 with a queen. Also now once again king e1 is right, and this is very passive. Wow, king f3. You know, this must require, I can say, insane bravery. After 11 moves, now one of our pieces has already been developing, and his king is on fire. His pieces are nowhere near his king to support. So I mean, this must require insane bravery. You know, this is mid here. Oh my goodness. I mean, like, this must require insane bravery from him. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. This is even reasonable here, I think. But he need to pay off for, okay guys, finish him. Guys, finish him here. A very short game and over. How is this reasonable? Obviously, with the bad king on f3, and his pieces are nowhere to help. It is over. Yes. For a speedrun game, this is really speedrun. I can say that. That's really speedrun. GG. The thing for him is that he just plays some really weird moves in the opening. Okay here, so let's try to talk through the game again. Sure. e3, d5. Just go for the center, d4, knight f6. Developing normally, right? Normally. f3, this I think should be the beginning of his troubles. He should go like maybe knight f3 or bishop d3, whatever. But you know, simply f3 makes no sense at all. Especially when it's hard for him to prepare e4. Also, f3 takes away a very important square for his knight. You see? So this is the beginning of the trouble for him. c5. I simply go for my pawn push, and I simply try and break through right away in the center. So now, I think someone earlier in my chat ask why I cannot play dc5, right? dc5 here is what happened, right? I can play e5. If you really want to take back the pawn, queen a5 is enough. And you can take back the pawn right away, right? But I can simply play e5. You know, I ignore the pawn for a moment. I try and push the pawn, get the center, and I'm threatening to take the pawn back. You see? Which is very strong as well. Bishop take here next. You see? And also, like before, can I save him? b6. And you know, this pawn structure is very bad. Very bad for sure. You see that? So in this kind of occasion, you don't need to worry about c5. Pawn. c3. Knight c6. Once again, dc5, e5, right? Once again, same thing happened here. So, you know, basically, he needs to develop right now, like right away. Maybe bishop b5 or bishop d3, whatever. But a3 here is simply asking for trouble. Simply asking for trouble here. His position is very, very poor. So on kind of pawn moves like this one is a waste of time. Isn't a5 best of b4? I mean, like basically a5 is playable for sure. a5 here and this one, like c3 and b6, and put on pressure on his pawn here in this pawn chain. This one. The thing is I mean a5 is pretty good move, but can play c3. Obviously a3 here we take on b4, right? This one. But now since he's so bad in development, both b6 and a5 can also be chosen as well. In the game a3, e5. As I mentioned earlier, a3 just asks for trouble. He cannot have time for this one. So now by e5 here, I seem to open up the center right away. Right? And also attempt to rip off his king in the center. Knight e2. He wants to defend d4 pawn, which is understandable. But I think you should go for like maybe d5. This one here and this one with a check. The thing is that he is so down in development, so every move to develop should be considered for sure. And you know, develop with tempo like this must be an option, right? Must be an option. But somehow he just simply neglect his development. That can be a big issue here in the game. So like, you know, knight e2, should d6. Once again, but now it's not easy at all. I think maybe like g3 or I don't know, but it should be considered, I guess. In the game he plays something. This is really weird, Yeah, this is like very ugly pawn structures for him. I think g3 now, this one can be considered maybe, but he just plays g4, which is asking for a lot of troubles. e4. I simply undermine his pawn structure right away, and now he is already in huge trouble here. In huge trouble now. g5. Takes. Nice g1, yes. This is very, very bad. You know, I mean like, whatever it is, the knight should be played here for sure. But I can simply play this one, right? Queen e2 and queen f6. And not only I'm up a pawn here, but I'm also much faster in development, which give me a clear edge, right? A clear edge is here. So now, okay, so obviously in the game, so he should play that, whatever it is. This one is just like so bad. And now you see here, right? Knight e4. And king f3 in the game is losing indeed. This is over. But I mean, the best move here is king e1. But even this one, you see this one, right? You see the position here. He is down a pawn, and look at the position. Whoa! After 10 moves, his pieces is on back in their initial place. And obviously, this is very ugly. On my pieces, just like seems to develop, right? But his pieces, no. King f3. I think this should work. For sure it is. If you want to go for some faster mate, this should work. Since king g4, queen g5, right? And now king h3, knight f2 is mate. This way. And king f3, we got like queen f5 here, this one. Right? Which is also really strong as well. But I just play something simpler, Queen G5, right? Simpler, and you know, once again, everything here is over for him. As I mentioned earlier in the game, King F3 must require insane bravery. He is not developing, and he walked the king into the fire, which I mean like require insane bravery, I can say that. And this is over, right? In the game he walked into the meeting net, this one, but here it's hard to recommend anything good for him anymore. Let's say now if he rushed to run the king back home, king e2. Now if you're black here, guys, if you're black here, what can you do now to simply finish the game for us? If white rushes this king back to his initial home, now what can we do now to finish the game to our favor? There are plenty of things here to be playable actually. C4 is also really, it's really interesting. I mean, you are so dominating that the move like C4 also works here for sure. But bishop G4 is dead already. This is correct, Chipoto? It's correct, guys. So now we go for the skewer, right? How can you defend that? F3 on the way to defend. And now how can you exploit this pin here? How can you exploit this pin here? King E1 we simply go for the queen, right? We can even go this one as well, which is so nice, right? So nice. But okay, knight 3 here to block the check. So now what to do? For the simplest option here, I agree that this is the best way. We try, right? And you win the queen by force, right? This is like the simplest option here to exploit the pin. Now the king and the queen is in the same diagonal, right? And queen h5 is over for sure. Oh, for sure. But I mean, like, I want to show you the mate here, so we'll do this one, queen f5, which is a mating net right away. It's mate. King e2 allow queen f2, and we mate with a pawn, right? You know, you don't see this one every day, but you mate with the pawn in the center, which looks very beautiful, right? On pieces gathering around the king, and it's over. Oh, that is dead, right? Looks so nicely and, you know, so interesting for sure. But now if you play like king g2 here, right? King g2, queen f2 for sure, king h3. And okay guys, final question today: how can black giving mate in this position? How can black give mate in this position here? Final question today. Should knight 60 be concerned about getting flashy pawn mates? You know, if you can make a pawn mates, it should be so nice. That's the thing. If you can make a pawn mate in the game, it is just so pleasing. I mean, like in chess, so you should be so happy if you can give mate with your pawn, or you simply can like promote to mate. It should be so nice. Promote to mate, or you know, plenty of things like that is just so nice. Okay, so when you want to meet him in an assault, you should always remember that if you can, bring his king up, right? Bring his king up, so that there will not be enough defenders. Queen f5, king g2 is once again, right? Again. We'll bring things again here. That obviously is not necessary, right? Knight g5 is correct. Knight g5 is deadly. That's one. So now we simply force his king to g4, right? And obviously this will really seriously weaken the king. King G4, right? And H5 is correct. H5 is correct. King G5. And now you got two different ways to mate. Queen F6 or Bishop E7. This is a mate here as well, and this is a mate too. Yes, it is. If you want to bully your opponent, you can go this one. If you want to like seriously bully him. And King G and Knight G7 here. This is like extreme level of bully. Yes, it is. This can be extreme level of bully, but I'm not going to, recommend this. You should mate right away. You should simply mate him right away. Right? So in this game, to be honest, my opponent just simply lost the game with, some weird pawn moves that obviously should not be recommended in the opening. Developing is always a thing that you should not forget, right? And when you try and do that, normally you can, punish some bad players who spend all the time of his life with the pawns. Sure? Any questions for the game? Any other questions left for the game actually? Guys, questions left for the game? Okay, I don't think there are anyone with a question here. This game is quite, I can say. No, my mom has some FaceTime, FaceTime. My sister is calling my mom from FaceTime, I think. Basically, so I really hope you guys can enjoy the video and you can find one instructive. Danya won't be streaming soon, so I hope that you can come here, watch the videos, watch my stream, and find this instructive and fun as well. Okay, so hopefully you can learn something from this. Hopefully this can be constructive and this can help you a bit with your chess career maybe. And that's it. See you in next videos.